Hey, I've been meaning to get some cosplay work up onto the stream, and I've been working on my steampunk cosplay, but I got distracted because the other night, Sunday night, we were doing Super Fight, and I don't know if you saw when we did Super Fight with friends, but in order to do the cameras for it, we had like the straight on camera, and then we also had a camera that went down on a whiteboard, and so we like wrote our names on the whiteboard and things like that, and that's what it looked like. And but in order to get the camera to go down the whiteboard, I had a vase and I had rocks and pebbles in the vase to weigh it down, and then I had the camera attached to the vase, and then I had the vase on top of a box, and it was just completely impractical for using more than once. And I thought, you know what, I can build something that'll work. Now, understand, I can build something is all relative, because yes, I have a jigsaw. I have used this jigsaw quite a few times. Mostly I use it to get pieces of wood like this, and I make giant puzzles out of it for like carnivals and stuff, for like kids stuff, not professionally, but I've done it before quite a few times. And like other various things, but like not all the time. So a lot of this is just kind of figuring it out as it goes. Now, the other thing that I need to do as far as cosplay is I need to get this lace sewn onto this choker, but that all has to be hand sewn. I also have to get some leaves sewn onto my corset for my for the cosplay coming up. There it is. Hi, for the corset, the cosplay that's coming up in December for JekyllCon. Yay! So anyway, what I noticed in the pictures is that on what side is it on? There's one side that there's too much of the gray that's showing. I don't like it. I thought it would look cool, but it didn't look cool, and it just needs to look better. So, oh goodness, that's sticking. That made nope. Okay, it's fine. So I noticed in the pictures, I don't know what side it was on. I was just seeing too much gray. Maybe it was here. Maybe when it like laid out. I don't know, it just didn't look as good, but it looks fine on. So I just got to figure out where that extra gray was so I can fix it. And so, oh, there it is. Okay. So like here, I was just seeing too much gray. I wanted to sew some extra leaves where the gray is. So that's another project I need to work on. I've got a lot of little tiny projects, but I figured I would work on this first and see how it went. So anyway, I guess I'll kind of talk as I go. There's not really anybody on right now. That doesn't mean people won't be on later, but I figured if I'm going to do it anyway, might as well stream it, because especially since I only somewhat kind of know what I'm doing, there's a good chance that this could go terribly. And if it goes terribly, then there's a good chance that possibly I could have a really funny or sad or serious video to show later. But anyway, so yeah, I figured I'd stream it. Plus, I don't really have any of this steampunk still streamed at all, and I figured this would be a good way to get a little bit of it streamed. Oh my gosh, my phone is making noises, so ignore that. All right. So yeah, so the whiteboard that we used the other night, actually, I'm going to switch over to more of like, there we go. Okay, so the whiteboard that we used the other night was about this size. It's almost 16 inches by 12 inches. I actually got them at Home Depot, and they sell bigger pieces, and I just got it cut up, but I had this one from a whole bunch of other pieces. I love these things so much. I use them all the time. So it's almost 16 inches by 12 inches, and this was about the perfect size, but it wasn't thick enough because I need something like this to kind of attach and then put a camera on. So, but I want this thing to be as light and maneuverable as possible. So I figure, and it would be great if I had the tools to actually make really nice, perfect straight cuts, and I don't have the tools to do that, and I was not going to go out and buy the tools for that for one very small project. So my lines are probably not going to be as perfectly cut and straight and beautiful as they could be, but that's okay. So I'm figuring on about 17 inches. This is called woodworking for people who don't know what they're doing. And I have a plan, sort of. process as I go, so I'm figuring it out. Ooh, I wish I could see who's online. It's not showing me who's online right now, but whoever's there, hi. Thank you for being here. You're keeping me company while I work. Feel free to chat. Hopefully I can see what's in the chat. Last time we were on, I couldn't see what was in the chat. I could see it on my phone, but I couldn't see it on Streamlabs here. Oh, hi, Buster Dragon. So yeah, and it's still not showing up for me there. I have no idea why. Refresh chat. We'll try that. But if not, I can just see it on my phone. Yeah, it's totally not showing up at all. I realize I forgot to bring a pencil in here, but since this doesn't have to be perfect, I'm just going to use pen. So, I know I'm going to have to cut some of this part off, but I'm not sure how much, and I don't want to risk it, because what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to test out cameras before I can cut this to a final length. But I can at least get this part cut. What I hadn't considered until just now is the fact that Powertools are going to be super, super noisy. So I'm probably going to have to turn the volume down, or I'm going to kill your ears. Okay, so what I'm making is I'm working on a solution to a problem. I had a vase/box contraption for a downward facing camera the other night, and it took forever to set up, and it was super impractical. And I thought, you know what, I can probably create something that would be way more practical and could be used for a multitude of things. Originally, I was going to get on to work on my steampunk cosplay, which I really need to do. I've got my choker that I've got to attach lace to. I've got to fix some things on my my dryad, but I've got steampunk that I need to focus on. Because I have to get this done. But I got distracted with this woodworking thing because I really need to do that too, because I want to see if it works. So I'm scattered, I'm unfocused, I'm doing lots of different things today. But that's okay. And I figured, hey, better to stream it, right? Because I need to stream a little bit of this cosplay. And since everybody over here was watching Super Fight the other night, then the next time we do Super Fight, you'll get to kind of see what the, like how we got to the contraption that the camera will supposedly, hopefully, maybe be on. So anyway, okay, so what I'm going to do, because I need to cut this, but I am not going to kill your ears with the volume of the jigsaw. I also should probably get rid of, oh no, I knocked that over, that's okay. I also don't want to kill your, ears. So I will probably just turn the volume down while I do this part, because it's just one cut and it won't take very long. I need to get rid of this chair. This chair is completely in my way for this. Super Fight. Super Fight is an awesome card game. It is, I don't think it's by the makers of Cards Against Humanity, but it's in that same kind of vein of like discussion-based card games. Hang on. Actually, that's not too loud. I'll still turn it down a bit. So essentially, you create a super character. You've got white cards and black cards, and you draw 3 white cards and you draw 3 black cards, and you look through those and you create your superhero that's going to fight other superheroes, and you're going to debate those, but you're going to have to pull one more black card to, like at the last minute that you don't get to choose, that's going to add one more quality. And I wish I had the cards here so I could give an example. But we did stream it the other night. It was really fun. But anyway, we had added some expansion packs into it. And so, yeah, and one of those expansion packs were the red rated R cards. So it got a little bit interesting. Anyway, all right, I don't want to cut my chair up. We'll see how this goes. All right, so I'm going to turn the volume down because I don't want to hurt your ears. Maybe I should just really talk loud like this now. also going to try to concentrate on what I'm doing so that there's no blood. Because blood on streams is probably against, like, terms of service or something. I don't know. No, why is it not working? Crud. Okay. I swear I've used this jigsaw like 100 times. Oh. Okay. Maybe not 100 times. Maybe like 20 times, but still. Come on. I've also used it with these particular wood pieces, so I don't know what is going on. Unless that switched. Hang on. And it's on the right setting. Oh, this stinks. That's fine. It's not at an angle. This is fine. It might just be that my blade is dull. I may have to get my new blade out. Oh, you know what I did get? My eye protection. Okay, so I'm going to turn this so you're not just like seeing my, actually you're just probably just going to see my shoulder. There's really no way around it. Oh well. Because if I go at any other angle, I'm going to be cutting into a table, and I don't want to cut into a table. Okay, so new blade. Crud. I'm observing safety procedures like unplug it before you switch your blade. Things I almost forgot about. I mean, to be fair, I've used the same blade for a long time. Oh yeah, it's totally, yeah, it's time. But I am prepared. I have a brand new blade. See, as many times as I've used this, the fact that I already have to switch out the blade first thing. I'm hoping this is not the universe telling me something. You know what? Let's try going from this side. Maybe it'll, no, because I'm right-handed. I have to go from this side. Let's try again. Darn it. Well, I feel sheepish. Let's try that. Whoa! Okay. There we go. I'm switching this to the other so that you're not just looking at my back the whole time because I feel silly. Okay. Okay, so what I really need, other than a broom, is some sandpaper, but I'm not going to do that now. Because in the end, nobody's actually going to look at this. It's just more the practicalness of this particular thing. Yay, Powertools! Okay. Wow, there's a lot of sawdust on the floor. I'm going to have to clean that up later. This is why people do things like this in garages, is because of this exact thing. So I'm just going to have to do a lot of dusting later. Okay, done with the jigsaw for now. I'm going to need it later, but I'm just going to leave that all together. I'll clean up the sawdust later. I've made a mess. All right. And, oh, you know what? I know for sure that the jigsaw, or that this is not going to need to be this long. Based on what it was last night, or Sunday night, I guess. God, it's not going to be, I mean, I'm going to have to cut it down some, but I don't want to cut it too much. Okay, it won't be, like 26 at the most, and that's actually way higher than it was the other night. But I want to work with something a little bit smaller. Okay, so I'm going to turn the volume back up because I totally forgot to turn the volume up. Hello. Okay, I just did not want to like kill you guys with the sound of that jigsaw. Okay. All right, so I just realized though I need the jigsaw one more time because I have to cut this. But it's a really, really quick cut, so you might just have to deal with the noise because I don't want to keep turning the volume up and down. Okay, jigsaw again. Oh, the seat I'm about to sit on is covered in sawdust. This is a mess. Gonna have to take an intermission just to deal with the sawdust. All right. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Now I'm done with it for a little while. Okay, so the other night the camera was kind of at an angle. But what I'm hoping is that if I can make it at an angle, that'll be okay. But what might work just as well is if I do a second piece out here, this way, like that way, so that the camera can go straight down. I don't know what's going to work best, but I do know at least that this is going to have to attach to that, and I have screws, and I have a drill, and I can make that happen. So, like I said, I have a tentative plan. I don't have a super great, long-term, awesome plan, but I have something, and we're going to make something work. And I've got cords everywhere. All right. I don't understand why I can't see my chat except on my phone. I'm so glad to have my phone to at least see what's going on. Okay, so 17 inches. This is probably 2 inches long, I'm guessing. No, it's like 1.5 inches long. And this is 17, meaning 17 minus 1.5 inches, 15.5. Half of 15.5 would be 7.5, 7.75, is that right? Math is good. Okay, so it's 7.75. I'm gonna need a space, and then 1.5 inches over, so a quarter, meaning I should have 7.75 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that doesn't work. Oh, because 7 to 15. That's why. And that's why I did the math backwards. Or, again, to make sure I wasn't wrong. And I was wrong. What was it? 17 minus 1.5 inches is 15.5. Half of 15. Why isn't that working? Where's my piece of paper? Hang on. 15. That's 1.5 inches long. So 15.5. 14. It should be right. 7, 7, 5, 5, 14, 15, 15.5 plus 1.5 should be 17. Why didn't that work out? Oh, because I went over 1.5 inches. That's why. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.75. That should be 1.5 inches there, which it is. Okay. That's why I just went 2.5 inches instead of 1.5 inches. All right. So that means that this piece of wood is going to be right here. Might as well draw lines. Boy, that is not, that side's better. You know, this is the side I just cut with the jigsaw. This is the side from the actual like door, and that's the crooked side. I kind of need to just even that out a little bit. I'm gonna have to cut it anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter right now. Okay, so then I need to drill holes, because with this kind of wood, I'm gonna need to drill holes beforehand. Maybe 1 inch apart. No, like 3/4 of an inch apart. Okay, so 1 1/4 and 1, no, here. Okay. So basically I want to pre-drill holes through both of these, which I just realized it's going to be super, no, I can pre-drill by pulling it off the table. Because this wood is not super happy. It's like, you can't see there, but it's like all splintered out and stuff. If I just try to drill straight into it, I'm going to have problems. I'm not sure how many problems I may have trying to drill holes into it, but it's still going to be a better solution. These are number 6. See, I don't know a lot about this and what I'm doing, so I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. I don't know how many times I need to say that. So I'm just kind of estimating what size fits with what. But hey, that's fun too, right?
I don't think so. You can always go through the
This is probably better. So I was trying the other night to drill holes in dice, to drill holes in D20s. And I learned something interesting that if anybody is watching this, I mean, probably not now because there's only 2 people on, but if you're ever watching this on YouTube or any other time and you actually do this more than I do, you probably already know. But so I'd read information on like slow drills, like hand drills for dice and beads and things like that. And I went, hey, well, I've got like an actual drill at home, so let me try that and see how it works. And so I got out my drill and got a drill bit and tried drilling into it. And the drill bit, now the first couple times the dice flew off and I didn't have my goggles at the time, so I had on swim goggles to protect my eyes, and thank goodness I did because the dice was going everywhere. Because it's really hard to start to drill onto a slippery surface. I really need to just use nails at first and then drill. But the other thing that I learned, because I have a D20 right now with a drill bit inside it, is that the friction from the drill melts the plastic and it fuses the metal and the plastic together. And so you just end up with a drill bit that's fused into a D20. So that didn't work. So I'm going to try using a hand drill next and see how that works. It'll be fun. Oh, you know what I was going to do too? Hang on a minute. I wanted to post over in Twitch Kittens that I was going live, and then I totally forgot to. I can't believe I forgot to, so I was going to post there now, but now I can't find where I go to do that. There we go. Cool. Alright, because I love Twitch Kittens and I always forget to post when I'm going live, so I figured I'd actually do that today. Anyway, okay, so wish me luck. I guess a jigsaw is way scarier than this, but... Oh, okay, that's going in way easier than I thought it was going to. Except for the fact that it's... Okay, there's one. I'm wondering if I'm going to need to get a bigger drill bit. I was afraid of going too large. But now I'm starting to think I might need a bigger drill bit. We'll try. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a bigger drill bit if I need to. But I think I got this. Luckily, I didn't lose, you can't even hear me right now if I'm talking, but luckily I did not lose one of my really good drill bits into it. I actually bent one because it knocked over and got all messed up. I was using my grandfather's Dremel kit. Hang on, you can't hear me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, so I was using my grandfather's Dremel kit, and I thought, oh, this is a great idea. This is going to be so much more efficient. So now I actually have his really old hand drill. It's really nice and old, and I'm kind of scared to use it. But I'm going to try it and see how that works. That will probably be a stream at one point, too, because it might work, and it might not. And either way, it's probably bound to be amazing. Amazing. You know what? I think I'm going to need a larger drill bit for that. I don't think that's going to work. Anyway. So I have done lots of cosplay streams. I have not done Powertools streams before. So this is new. And eventually I'm going to actually get to like the cosplay part of it. But like the sewing the lace on that thing and all of those. But I really want to get this more done. I'm not sure how I'm going to test the camera. I may end up having to do that off stream to make that work because I've got to figure out, ooh, maybe I could hook it up to this. I don't know. Let me think. So we're going to try a larger drill bit. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Eventually this is going to work. I'm going to make this work one way or another. You know what I just realized by when I posted, because I just posted in Twitch Kittens because I love them and they're awesome, but I just made all new overlays and I don't have kitten stuff on any of my overlays, which I really should do. If you are watching and you're not aware of who they are a group on Discord that is just this really super amazing supportive community of streamers and people who support streamers and watch streamers and artists and just this really massive community of kind, helpful people. It's been really great to be a part of them. Anyway, I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if I can make this work. So, I'm probably going to need to get out, well, I'm going to need to change that drill bit for an actual like screw, but let's see. I'm hoping these line up properly. They'll at least line up as good as IKEA stuff does, right? I cannot tell you how many times the screws haven't lined up. Thank goodness I had a drill and I can fix it. Anyway, I love IKEA. I don't mean to badmouth IKEA. I really do love them. It's just sometimes the holes don't line up. Okay, that maybe should work. I'm gonna need a slower setting though, although I think I have this on, yeah, I have this on the slowest setting. I really probably should hand screw this, but I'm not going to because I don't have it with me. You see how easily this goes through. Nope, that's the wrong direction. That's better. Okay. Wish me luck. I need to go through a little more so I can line the pieces up. So I got 1-inch screws, which I'm hoping is enough. We'll find out. I'm wondering if I should have gotten like 1.5-inch screws. Eek. Eek, eek. Okay. Anyway. Oh, they don't quite line up. They're really close, but not quite. But I might be able to get away with it. It might be enough. And it might even be just that as long as that one lines up, I can get the other one to work. Let's try this. Wish me luck. These are annoying. Okay, that one's in. Let's try this. Yeah, it feels like it might work. Maybe. Okay, it's in and it's not too far off. This might be okay. Okay, so if this were not on stream right now, at this point I would have one leg holding this piece of wood down. But it would not be very ladylike. I'm not sure it's the best choice. But I kind of need more tension here. Okay. I'm going to figure out how to do this without. Yeah, okay. I'm good. I'm good. I get it. Okay. All right, so the other thing I realized I'm going to have to do, so I'm going to have to put some tape over that because that's going to scrape up the table if I don't. Okay. But ow! Friction, hot, heat. Okay, I think that'll work. Thank you. Hey, I have something to mount a camera on. Look at that. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm actually going to flip the camera around so you can kind of see what I'm doing over here. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, so the idea is I've got this, camera mounts on this. Whiteboard is going to have to go somewhere in here, but I'm not cutting this off yet because I don't know exactly where the camera is going to go. It's going to depend on how this works out. Ooh! Oh my gosh! There are 7 people here all of a sudden. And I can't see on my screen, so I don't know why. But that's really unexpected. Hey. Well, hello to all 7 of you. I don't know why it's not showing me what's going on in my chat right now. Oh, you know what? I know how I can find out. Hang on. Boop, boop, boop. Over here. Yay. Okay. But it's not showing me over here either. What is going on? Well, hello to all 7 of you. Cool. Anyway, so I'm gonna have to figure out where exactly to put this. And, Oh, please don't do that. Oh, the leg thing. Got it. Now I see what you're saying. Please don't put my leg up over the, yeah. I won't do that. I didn't. See, I figured out another way to do it. Yay. Okay, so my next thing that I have to figure out, but I'm kind of thinking out loud, is if I'm going to mount a camera at an angle or if I want to put a second piece out, an arm out, so that it can go straight down here. And I'm not sure what's going to be best. I mean, ideally, probably just have a piece so that it goes straight down. That'll probably be better for angles. But it means that I'm going to end up having to hook up another camera to test it, which is going to be a little tricky to do on stream. So I might end up having to do some of this off stream. But I really kind of want to get it done. I also have to figure out how I want to mount this whiteboard piece. But I don't think I'm going to mount it with screws and stuff. I think I can just like use wood glue or something to get it on. But I think this will work. I think this will be good. I just have to, yeah. Let me grab something. Hang on. Pause. Right there. For just a second. Okay, so I'm going to switch the camera back to this cam because there's not really a lot to see there right now. Okay, so I've been using a lot of painter's tape lately for cameras, but I'd love to get to the point where I don't have to use quite as much painter's tape. Like, I know that that would work, just taping it on like that, and that might be a good start. I don't know how far it's going to need to be, and it's going to depend on what camera, so I'm going to have to be consistent about my camera usage. But that's already going to work way better than what I did before. So I think already I'm in a good place. This might be the end of Powertools. This might be time for working on cosplay stuff, because I think I have to test this all out, and I don't think I can test it very well on stream. So, but that's okay. Yay, Powertools. Okay, so now that I'm surrounded by a ton of sawdust that has to be cleaned up, but not right now, I will put that aside. I will put the Powertools aside, and I'll actually work on some cosplay. But, okay, so we're going to do another Sunday night. I don't know if it's going to be Super Fight or if it's going to be something else. We've been talking about red flags, and we've been talking about, oh gosh, people also brought up, let me see, people brought up red flags, and they brought up Mary Blank Kill, which is another really fun one. So we're talking with the Connections Collective right now about what we want to do on Sunday, but we're going to come up with something really, really cool. And we'll let you know. We'll put it up on Instagram and stuff like that. Oh, we'll put it in the Discord too, and we'll put it over. We'll probably even put it on the Slack, because there are some people that are over on the Slack still that aren't on the Discord. But I feel like now that the game is over, we're kind of a little bit less connected with each other, and so we need to keep all of this positivity going and all these wonderful things. Okay, so this is going to go off to the side for now, and I'm going to work on sewing my choker, and I'm going to work on sewing some leaves on things. And that is why I titled this Power Tools and Lace, because there are power tools and now there's lace, which really sounds a lot less interesting than the jigsaw. But I finished this and I'm not bleeding, and so that's a really good thing. Hi! Aw, thank you, Addie. You missed it. We were using jigsaws and drills and all sorts of things. But I think I'm done now. So Audie, what we were working on is working on a camera mount, so that the next time we play Super Fight or any of those games, we can actually have a camera mount that works a lot better than a vase filled with rocks taped to the top of a box, because that's what we used last time. And it worked. It was not pretty, and it was really, really hard to duplicate. So, so we're going to come up with something cooler next time. So, hello to the people out there. There's like 5 or 7 people there now, but I don't know who you are, because what I'm discovering is that for some reason my My chat is not working over here, so I'm having to check everything with what's on my phone or a 30-second delay over on the actual screen. But yeah, so I'm going to put this off to the side. And I think what I might do is sew some leaves on my corset, and I will work on that bit of lace, and that will be awesome. So what is going on is in December 8th and 9th. Am I right about 8th and 9th? I think the scribe's on. He can confirm with me. I'm pretty sure it's December. I know it's December 8th and 9th. It is December 8th and 9th. I knew this. Okay, so December 8th and 9th, I am going to be over at JekyllCon in Georgia as a guest cosplayer, which is like so exciting. So I've had all sorts of projects that I've been working on because of that. One of which is, my Dryad costume has to come because that's kind of, that was kind of the main one that they saw and things like that. So Dryad's definitely coming, and I love Dryad, and that's why she's coming. So Dryad's going to be there on Saturday, and then I decided I just broke a needle because I didn't have scissors. So I was using my dull, my dull jigsaw to try to cut the thread, which was probably not the best choice. So so I just broke my needle. Luckily, I have a backup needle somewhere. Yes, I have a backup needle. Okay. So I knew that I was going to bring Dryad for December 8th and 9th, but I wasn't sure what else I was going to bring. And I had this idea for this steampunk cosplay that's also a silk costume that I really just needed an excuse to make. And so this became my excuse to make my steampunk cosplay. So I got a corset. I don't have it in here right now, but it's in the other room. And it's this beautiful, gorgeous steampunk type corset that I'm probably going to add some things to, but honestly, it could work as is. It's so pretty. And I don't have scissors. You know what? Hang on. So I've got my steampunk corset, and then I had this skirt that was a thrift store skirt, but it was so pretty. I wish I had it here, but I don't right at the second. It's got reds and browns and all sorts of beautiful colors in it, and so that's been like pulled up to like here, and so that's going to be kind of flowy. I think I need to put some lace under it or some sort of a slip under it. It's going to be really pretty. And then I've got stilt covers out of this really beautiful fabric that I found on sale. Thank goodness, because I was starting to get worried about the expense of creating a brand new cosplay for the event. And I got that. And so those stilt covers, I found this lace. And this is the smaller version of the lace. And this right here, hang on a minute. There it goes, right there. Okay, so this was like $9 a yard, and I needed a yard and a half of it. And then there's this bigger lace that's going to be so beautiful for the stilt covers, but that was $20 a yard. So I got 1 yard, actually just over a yard, so I could split it between the two tops of the stilt covers. And I wanted to get more, but gosh, at $20 a yard, and I couldn't even get a discount on it. It was so expensive. I got a 20% off sale, total sale, but still. So yeah, so stilt covers done, almost. Skirt done, almost, but I need a slip inside. And corset done. Oh, I've got these pretty little sleeves that I don't have with me either. I thought I brought them in, but I didn't. So these little sleevelets that were made out of the top part of the skirt with more of this lace on it. And the only thing I haven't figured out yet is what to do up here. I feel like the easy answer is a hat, like to do one of those really cool steampunk hats. Not to say I'm not gonna do it. I just like that's the typical answer is doing the really cool hat, but I don't know if there's something else I want to do. I haven't figured it out yet. I've been thinking about a wig with curls, either a wig or even just a hairpiece with curls, and then maybe doing some feathers and things. I can't picture in my mind what I want to do with my hair yet, with my hair and hat or goggles or what. So that's what's still up in the air. For my Dryad, Aw, Pastor Dragon, thank you. That was very sweet of you. Lace Fund. Um, yes, lace is expensive, but this is really pretty. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not. The other one is like this too. It's gold. Here, hang on. Okay, that's a better side. Okay, so it's like this really pretty gold lace, and it works. It's very antique-y. You can kind of see it. It's a little blurry in the camera, isn't it? Maybe from here. Um, but yeah, lace is nice, but it's pricey. But thank you. I appreciate Lace Fund. That was very sweet of you. Um, the other thing I found out is, or I was talking to a friend of mine who is a very well-known cosplayer. She's done stuff like she's been invited over to Australia and all sorts of places, and she brought up a really good point, which I need to keep in mind, which is, you know, with the print work, and like when cosplayers sell print work and stuff like that, they're not selling print, they're not selling their art. Like, we're not selling our art because we think that our art is better or anything like that. It's about having things available so people can kind of help support your cosplay. If they like you as an artist, as a cosplayer artist, that they would want to help support that and support you being able to build more costumes and things. So she often sells little trinkets and things like that, so that if people don't want to buy prints, they can buy just little trinkets. And which is why I was talking earlier about drilling into those dice. I have this really cool idea. I'm probably going to make some of them on stream. I'm still waiting for some of my materials though, for these little keychains that have dice in them. I found these dice that are the most adorable dice I've ever seen. The audio dropped low? I wonder why. Let me check. Thank you for letting me know though. It's saying that it's high here, but you know what? I can bring it up a little bit more. I may just be talking more quietly because I'm distracted. But I found these really cool little miniature dice. They're like little tiny D20s and little tiny D6s and everything. And there's a whole set. There's like 20 sets of whole sets of 7. And they're all less than half an inch across in diameter, or width or whatever. And they're so cool. They're adorable. So I'm going to work with those. But I was also going to make earrings and things like that. I've just got sticks. I'm pulling these leaves off right now. I don't remember what I was saying. I just totally lost track of what I was saying. Anyway, I was going to make earrings and things like that too. I had an idea for making little chokers with D20s or D4s. One of the things that I've lamented at cosplay events is there seems to be a lot of anime there, and there seems to be a lot of like trading cards and all sorts of things. I don't see a lot of D&D stuff. And maybe I've just been at the wrong cons, but at least the ones that I've been to, I just really haven't seen a lot of D&D representation. So I thought for my trinkets that I bring, it's going to be dice. It's going to be D&D stuff, because those of us in the world of D&D should be represented too. And maybe there are going to be other D&D people out there that are going to be looking like I have for things that have like D20s and stuff. When I went to Home Depot today to get the wood, it was really funny because I was trying to explain to the guy what I was trying to build, and the subject of D&D came up, and like he was all embarrassed because he gets together with, you know, his friends and they play D&D and stuff, and he was like, I'm like in my 40s and I get together and play D&D, and I'm going, this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. This is cool. I love it. I do this too. I don't know. I'm not sure if you believe me. But yeah, it's cool, this like hidden world of people out there that play D&D and then they don't talk about it because I don't know why, but I love it. Okay, so what I was saying earlier is this, I've been noticing some of the pictures on this particular dryad skirt. When I'm walking, this part shows up very, very gray. And it was supposed to have a mossy look underneath, but there's just too much of the grayish green there. I don't like it. So I wanted to put some extra leaves on it just to kind of fill it out a little bit. So, so yeah, so that's my next project, is just to get some extra leaves on this area here. Which is not the most exciting thing, I guess, to watch or to do, but it's a necessary thing. And it shouldn't take too long. I've got maybe 8 or 9 leaves to sew on there. The only thing is they have to be anchored in several places or they flip up and then they look weird. But I also want to add a little bit of extra ferns, a little bit of extra fern work to my arm pieces, but I'm not going to do that today. I need to get some more ferns. And I need to touch up the paint, because what I've noticed, I don't have scissors. Yay. What I've noticed is that Scribe, if you're out there and would love to bring me some scissors, I would be forever grateful. There are some on the counter, and it would probably save my teeth.
What do you need?
Do you have scissors out there?
Yep.
By any chance? Thank you. Scribe is helping me. He's getting scissors. He's awesome. But yeah, what I've noticed is as I've been walking in the stilts, some of the paint has scraped off where the stilts keep just continually scraping together. So I just need to repaint in a couple of areas. Thank you so much. I just need 1 pair, but thank you. It's better than cutting it with my teeth. So yeah, but this one is done. It's just at this point, I mean, I could bring this costume as is. It's just any extra things I add to it are extra fun, neat, nice things. So, and it will make it look even better. So, oh, that's the other thing I need to do too, is the strap, the green strap that goes over my shoulder keeps falling down, and I just need a little bit of elastic in there, because it's fine, it's just a little annoying. And so if I can avoid having to pull up the strap all day long, it will just make my life slightly easier. Surprise appearance, Audie love. So Audie, next time you're over here for a card game, if we stream it, you'll be able to see my little contraption I made, and hopefully by that point I'll have tested out the cameras and it will be done. It's not really much to brag about. It's pretty simple, but I can brag about it because for me it's cool and helpful and useful and better than using a vase. So there. So we are trying to keep card games and some of these fun things going with our amazing community of people who have been kind of sharing this journey with us through connections and all of that. And we are also trying to seek out some other things that are happening in the area. The other night we put on stream an email. Oh, and actually, Audie, if you want to throw up the link to Rosa's email in there, because I don't have it with me, but you are welcome to do that if you want to. You can even give them, I wish you could talk right now, like out, but you can even give them a little bit of a kind of summary of what is in the letter from Rose. For those of you who are into some of these wonderful kind of immersive sorts of events, we've got the very beginnings of a mystery involving someone named Rose. And if you want to post anything up there, I hesitate to say too much because I don't have the letter with me and I don't want to accidentally get something wrong. But we talked about it the other night. If you're interested in finding out more information, we read the letter and we talked about it a little bit more the other night on the Super Fight stream. And since we only have one Super Fight stream on Twitch right now, it's really easy to find. Down the line, there will probably be more Super Fight streams because it was a lot of fun. And if you were a part of this more recent event, you saw two extremely familiar faces on it, who were a lot of fun to play Super Fight with. But we're gonna have to get some more people out here super fighting with us because that was a lot of fun. I want to do more. So I'm a little worried because the space on this skirt looked really filled in with leaves until I actually wore it. And the skirt kind of fills out once there's an actual person inside it. It's not hanging straight down. And so that area that just looked like a little tiny bit of green looked like a lot of green in the pictures, that greenish gray. And so I'm filling this in with leaves, but I'm also a little bit worried that I'm not going to see how filled in it is until I actually put the thing on. But I need to get pictures in it one of these days. I'm probably going to put it on one of these days. It's not really the costume that takes a long time, it's the makeup. Because I glue leaves to my eyes up here, and that takes a while. And makeup is something that I would like to be better at. That's not something that comes super naturally to me. There are all these people out there that are way more talented than me when it comes to makeup and just have this innate knowledge of what's going to look good and what's not. And for me, it does not come easily. I have to work at it when it comes to things other than, the basics. I have something that works pretty well for my dryad. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for my steampunk, although I got all these little tiny, like half-inch to an inch maximum little gears and things, little gold and silver and bronze gears. I think I might glue some of those to my face. Since I'm gluing the leaves and that looks kind of cool, I might go for gluing some bits of metal. So, that should work. Yay, thank you, Audie. Yes, that's the email, and then, part of a boarding house. More info is coming out really soon. Ooh! Well, once I know, I will share more. Because you guys have as much info as I have, but I'm very, very excited and intrigued, and I want to find out more. And Audie knows more than I do about the secrets to Miss Rose. Like, that more information is going to be coming out soon. I didn't know that. I'm excited. I have to admit, though, I have not emailed Miss Rose because I got caught up in all of this stuff and being busy, and I'm not quite sure what I want to say yet, how I want to play this. But I'm sure she'll get an email from me soon. I may have to wait for more info. All right, so my phone keeps going off and I'm thinking that it's notification. It's the same kind of text message chain, but it's just buzz, 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 buzz over in my ear. All right, I think I'm about to the end of the leaf process. I'm getting really bored with sewing on leaves. I can't imagine that it's entertaining to watch in any way whatsoever. But, so I've been trying to think of other cosplays that I can do because there's a lot of amazing cosplay out there, and there are a lot of amazing cosplay artists. And what I really love, and I think that what makes me unique, is the fact that I stilt walk. And I like creating stilt cosplays, but I also don't want to just create like just a general cosplay that I could do on the ground, but just on stilts. I want to have a reason for it. I want there to be a point behind it. You know, like my dryad was growing out of the trees, so there's more to it than that. And well, the steampunk I guess doesn't have more of a point, but at least it's still gonna be really cool looking. Oh well. I had an idea for a poison ivy costume on stilts, but I've got some stilts that I don't use very often because they're kind of a pain, but I really love them. They're called peg stilts. So instead of having the big giant foot on the bottom, it's just a little tiny peg that's about that far around. And the only problem is you can't really stand in one place on them. You have to kind of rock back and forth, so they don't work super well for pictures unless you create a third, like a pole that goes to the ground or something, so you can create a tripod for yourself. So I don't tend to use them a lot because when I'm in a place where I want to be able to stop for pictures, they're just not very practical. Hang on a minute. Let me look at this from the side. Okay. All right, that will fill in a little bit more. I feel like I still need another one here. And here. Yeah, that opens up too much. I need a couple more there. But my thought was, if I created a poison ivy cosplay, where she's kind of, I don't know, growing, like the vines are growing from the ground, like she's making herself taller with vines, you know what I mean? That could look really, really cool. The only problem is, Big Sister from BioShock, I need to look at pictures, because one of the problems is there are a lot of tall characters out there, but they're proportionately tall characters. They don't have like super, super, super long legs with teeny tiny arms. And so I've been having trouble trying to find characters to justify the really super long legs, because in the end with stilts, that's what you end up getting. But maybe I need to look at pictures of Big Sister from BioShock and see if maybe I could adapt it somehow, because that could be interesting. I need to think about that. Thank you. Yeah, I need to think. I need more yellow. Anyway, so okay, so the problem with the pegs is they start off, hang on a minute. Okay, so they start off small like this, and then they move up, and it's just a stick. But at a certain point where your foot is, it's going to get really wide because of your foot, and then it'll get kind of narrower to your knee. So you almost have this kind of triangle shape and then a stick. And so what I'm trying to figure out is how to design the poison ivy so that it looks like she's kind of growing from vines out of the ground, but the triangle shape where the foot is up to the knee doesn't look weird. And I'm thinking with a lot of like foliage, that could work, but I just haven't quite designed it in my brain yet. So that's where I'm getting stuck. But I think it could be a really neat costume. I also am aware that plant stuff is expensive. And right now, like all the autumn stuff is going on sale. So it helps. I was able to get some extra autumn bits at 50% off, which really helped me. But for a poison ivy costume, all of that stuff's green. That is not going to be on sale for a while. And I don't want to put myself into debt with just $100 worth of vines. So I also have to figure out what I can do that isn't going to break the bank, but is still going to look really cool. The nice thing about the green vines is sometimes I can find them at secondhand stores. Like I actually have some, I'd have to take them off of our kind of ceiling area because they're decorations in our house. But I found them secondhand because, you know, people were moving and they were selling them and things like that. So I may get really lucky if I check secondhand shops and find vines and things like that secondhand, and that may save me some money. You can't do a poison ivy without vines, and you can't make it look really cool, especially on stilts, without a whole heck of a lot of vines. So a big part of that is the financial, which I guess is where you get back into the idea that cosplayers at these events sell little trinkets and things like that just to support their passions. Because, you know, I look at some of these cosplayers out there who have way more things than I do. Like, they're constantly making new costumes. Now, granted, the extra fabric required for stilts adds to it, but, you know, I see just the vast array of costumes that they have, and I know how much they've got to be spending on all of their costumes and accessories and everything else. For example, for a typical, like if I use regular fabric, the fabric that I got for my last set of stilt covers is almost like a curtain fabric, so it came in a length that I can use for my stilts without having to cut it down. But normally I'm going to need about 6 yards of fabric for a pair of stilt covers. Now, most fabric, if you're getting it, is going to be around, if you're super lucky, $7 a yard or so, but for some of the nicer fabric that you need, you're looking at a minimum of $10 a yard, quite often more. One of the fabrics that I really wanted to get this time that I could not get was $20 a yard. So $20 a yard times 6 yards, that's already $120 just in fabric, just for the stilt covers. It's amazing how quickly it adds up, and that's just like one little piece of a costume. And there are plenty of cosplayers out there that are, you know, just building, it feels like a new costume every week or every couple of weeks. It's amazing. But there's some really beautiful stuff. I was on, oh gosh, I can't remember. There's a photographer on Instagram. I'm totally going to give him a shout out because he's taken pictures of some really fun things. And it seems like he's just got new stuff up there every day. He's got to come up because, like, it feels like every time I scroll through Instagram, his stuff pops up. Oh, Han Solito Fotografias, han.solito.fotografias. Anyway, he's just constantly taking photos, and there's some really cool stuff out there that he's got. Actually, one of the other cosplayers that is going to be in at the event that I'm doing in Georgia at JekyllCon, she just has so many beautiful things. Oh My Sophie, I'm totally giving her a shout out too because she's just got some really beautiful cosplays out there, and I started following her on Instagram, and I'm just so impressed by the amount she has. It seems like every day she's posting something, and it's not the same stuff that I've seen before. It's really pretty, and it's a lot of new stuff. So yeah, shout out to all the incredibly talented people out there doing incredibly talented things. So, hello, if you've just joined us, I can see there's like 7 people watching, but I can't see who they are. But feel free to shout out in the comments. I'm happy to answer questions. I get distracted sometimes and forget what I'm saying because I'm sewing, and I'm not real good at talking and sewing at the same time. But yeah, I'm happy to answer questions. I have been stilt walking for a really long time, and I love it. And I love creating costumes. And one of the things that I love that is, I'm not sure how loved it is in the world of cosplay. I think it has mixed reviews. Is I like creating unique things that are maybe inspired by a character or inspired by a concept, but aren't necessarily a duplicate of that. And I really admire people who are very good at duplicating characters to a T. but I also think that there are some people that are just doing some amazing things out there that are just kind of inspired by and from their own imagination, and I love to see that out there too. And that's something that I kind of prefer, is kind of a create your own. But to be fair, I kind of have to do that because as a stilt walker, you don't see a lot of characters with 6 foot legs. So I guess my inspiration comes more from necessity than anything else. I need a couple more leaves for this. So I have never been to JekyllCon before, and I'm super, super excited. And I've heard that it's amazing. I've heard that the convention center that it's at on Jekyll Island is just really beautiful. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. They also have a... Oh, I just ripped my leaf. Oops. I'm not using that one. They've got like a VIP event on Saturday night. Like a mix and mingle that sounds really fun. And then there's like an after party, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if I'm going to be out all day on Sunday as well, I don't know how much I'm going to last into the night on Saturday night. So we'll see how far through the party and then the after party I make it through. What's that show? There's it's like they all go to the party and then they go to the after party, and then there's the after party, and then the after party, and I kind of feel like this is what's going on here.
The Disney cruise.
Disney cruise
has one night where there's whiskey tasting.
Has one night where there's whiskey tasting. I'm finding that I'm going on a cruise. There's a whiskey tasting on the Disney cruise.
It's an hour long.
That just doesn't seem to work. Like Disney and whiskey tasting, I would not have guessed that those two things would go together.
But it's an
hour long whiskey tasting on the Disney cruise.
And we got the last 2 tickets.
Oh, and we had the last 2 tickets. This is news. Oh, where did I come up with the name Indigo Chameleon? Okay, so when we started doing this connections group, I had to come up with a pseudonym because we all came up with pseudonyms, like names that were not ours. And I came up with Chameleon, partly because of the nature of the event, because we were all kind of being variations of who we were and that sort of thing, and partially, I don't know, for a lot of reasons. And I like chameleons, and in my life I love to... Oh, hi! I have no idea what just happened, but thank you to whoever did something. It's not showing up for me. Oh my gosh. My dashboard's not showing me things. But that's okay. Whoever did something, it'll show up on my screen in just a second, and thank you. But yeah, it's in my life I kind of have to be a chameleon. And so so I picked Chameleon. And see, it's still not showing up for me. Wait, oh, you know what? I can do that. Hang on, now I'm completely distracted. Oh, thank you for the follow, Tudor. Yay. Anyway, so I came up with Chameleon for this pseudonym event, and it kind of fit me and it kind of worked. And then through the pseudonym event, we were also creating Instagram accounts and things like that. And indigo kind of came out of that because it's my favorite color, and Chameleon was already taken. And so Indigo Chameleon sprung from that. And then it worked, and it just more and more kind of happened from the Indigo Chameleon thing, and it just took off, and it felt right. Yeah, and I really like it now, and I've got it's worked well for cosplay. It applied really well to the cosplay stuff that I was doing, because as a cosplayer, I mean, kind of you're chameleoning yourself to different things, and kind of rolled off the tongue, but which I guess it doesn't. There's a lot of syllables in Indigo Chameleon, but to me it does. To me it works. It applied itself very well to cosplay, and so yeah. So I'm very happy with it, and it seems to be working quite well for the cosplay sorts of things that I'm doing. So yeah, it was nothing profound, but in the end, it fits me and it suits me and I like it. So, all right, hang on. There we go. Some of these leaves are popping up, and so I'm trying to just anchor a few of them down. Tudor, we have been talking about the cosplay event in Georgia coming up. Not the cosplay event, I'm sorry, the con, the Jekyll Con, but I am a cosplay guest at that, and I'm working on my dryad corset, like just adding some extra leaves to it because it needed a few more. And I've got a choker for my steampunk that is going to debut at that event. The first time I wear it in public is going to be there. And so I'm working really, really hard on it, but I'm so excited about it. So little by little, okay, I think that'll work. I still feel like I'm going to need a couple extras. But that goes, let me see. So I've got a piece that pins. Okay, that pins underneath, so I don't need extras there. What I was noticing was when I was wearing this in some places where I thought I had a lot of leaves, when the skirt kind of separated a little bit as I walked, I didn't have as many leaves as I thought I did, and I felt like it was lacking a little bit, so I just wanted to kind of increase the number of leaves that I had. And so I'm fixing that up. I need to sew, I need to paint a little bit more on my stilt covers, but I don't even have them in here right now. That's going to take a little while. And I'm probably going to do a little bit of spray paint and a little bit of acrylic, and I can't do the spray paint inside. I can use a jigsaw inside. I've got sawdust all over the floor from earlier. But I'm not going to use a can of spray paint inside. That's where I draw the line. So I still have to do photos. I don't have any. I have some photos in the dryad costume, but I need some better photos. So that's one of my next projects too, is doing a photo session with the dryad. And eventually, if I can get the steampunk done in time, I want to also do some photos with that. It just feels the makeup for the dryad takes, I don't know, probably 30 to 40 minutes to do. It's a little bit faster now that I've done it a few times, but by the time I do the makeup and get into the costume and everything, it takes so long that it feels silly to do that for 30 minutes worth of pictures. I mean, I guess people do that all the time, but for me, I'm like, I have to put everything on. So I want to make sure that this time when I do it, I get the right pictures, that I don't have to do another one. Because I did a video session because I needed some video footage, but I just got a few pictures. I didn't get enough of what I need for print work. I need a more solid background, like a white background or a black background. I'm also debating my backgrounds, because I think black will look better with the dryad stilt, because it's the colors will really pop against black. But when you print 8x10s, printing them with black backgrounds is very non-traditional. White is more common. White also works better if you have to write on those 8x10s and you don't want to use like silver markers and stuff, but then again, it can look kind of cool. So I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know if I'm going to go for a black background or a white background. Things that I never considered were going to be a dilemma. Yeah, this, in the pictures, this mossy kind of fabric that I really like. It's very pretty, but it just shows up too gray. It with all the color of the wig and the leaves and everything else, it's too gray looking, and a little bit of it showing is okay, but there was just too much. It needed some more leaves. There's too much of the moss essentially showing through. But at this point, I swear I've sewn on 20 leaves. I could be wrong, but it feels like at least 20 leaves. I should be in a much better place. But I've also, some of them I'm only anchoring in one place, and I'm worried that I'm being a little lazy with them and that I'm going to have to go back and anchor them in more places. The other thing that I'm a little worried about is my stilts, because they're made of polyfoam and they're painted polyfoam, so they're rough in texture. They're tearing at my tights, and they're also tearing at the fishnets that I wear. And the fishnets will be okay for at least another few events, but at some point I'm worried that I'm going to have to redo the fishnets because they're just going to get too torn up. I'm having to replace the tights before JekyllCon, but that's not a huge deal. Those fishnets with the ferns and stuff, it just took a long time to do, and I don't want to redo it. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't have to redo it any sooner than I have to. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to stop this, and then I'm going to sew on the lace, and then I am going to call it a night. And then I'll work on my camera. But I think I have to work on the camera off stream because I just have to test it out. But I think it's going to be really cool, the camera. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about having this thing that will make this process so much easier. So we are definitely going to do a super fight or something similar on Sunday. I need to put that up on the stream schedule because I just put a stream schedule in there. So what we will do is we will spread the word on the Discord and the Slack channel to let you guys know. But we're going to make it happen because that was really fun last time. Oh my gosh. Those two together, Hillary and Leo, when they get together, are so hilarious. If you did not see it, you will never see Nolan the same way again. If you are not familiar, Nolan is the character that Leo played recently in all of these events, and it was just really funny. All right, I need to anchor this leaf in one more spot. Possibly two. Okay. Some of these leaves are just really, really big, and they just need to be anchored. The other thing that I found is on the whiteboards, they're super versatile because what I can do is I can use the wet erase markers to write people's names depending on what the game is. And we're still trying to figure out how we can make it work for One Night Werewolf. If you haven't played that game, it's really, really fun. All right, so it's definitely leafier than it was. The other thing I need to figure out is the corset, because I've worn it a lot now. The stays are starting to... Ooh, actually, Audie, you can probably tell me more about this. The stays are starting to crinkle just a little bit. I'm pretty sure that heat will help them to kind of uncrinkle. I just don't want to... I don't want my stays to crinkle too much. Right now they're just... I may even be able to just bend them. But they're not metal stays, they're plastic stays. So when you wear it, your body heat eventually kind of crinkles them a little bit. And Yeah, especially because every time I put on the stilts, I'm kind of leaning forward in the corset, which is not the best thing to be doing. So, I don't know. I may have to figure out a way to start putting on the stilts and then putting on the corset last, but it could lead to some unladylike events. All right. Okay, that'll work for now. Thank you, Audie. Yeah, I might even just need to like press this down underneath some really super heavy books. Okay, so that's that. And now I've got my lace. I am just stepping on so much sawdust right now from earlier. It's a mess. Okay, so this is the choker for the steampunk. Maybe. I can't get it on. Okay, hang on. There we go. That way. Okay. Which is really pretty, and I think it's going to work really, really well for the steampunk. But then, and actually this is really good because I haven't looked at it together on. So the lace is going to go underneath it slightly, so it won't be quite this long, but it'll have this kind of a look to it. So it'll go, and what I might even do is drape a couple little, like the little gears off it and stuff. But the lace will match with the lace that's on the sleeves, and that also kind of matches with the lace that's on the legs. So I think it'll be really pretty. I think it'll work. So, thanks, Audie. So yeah, but I have to hand sew that. That's not something I can do with machines. I love this this choker though. It's all beadwork and it's super intricate beadwork. It's like, here, you can see it there. I don't know how well you can see it, but anyway. Super intricate beadwork, and it's got these little crystals on it, and it lost 3 crystals, and my sweet wonderful mama glued the crystals back on, or found some other crystals that would work, and then glued them on. And so I just have to sew the lace on. I suppose I could use yellow. It's not like it's going to show. I don't have a black thread right now. Black would be ideal, but I don't know where my black thread went. I had some. I'll just use yellow. It won't show. Antique shopping. Yes, we have to do that. Except I'll spend too much money. Audie, you can't say these things because then I'll spend money that I shouldn't be spending. But Audie, you can help me because I have to figure out what I'm going to put on my head. At this point, if I had to decide right now, I don't know. Because I've thought about doing like the Victorian style wig, like a bigger kind of a bouffant kind of thing with a like curls down. I've also thought about just pulling my hair up like this and then attaching a thing with curls on it and then doing one of the big hats that's kind of off to the side. I don't want to do the little tiny hats because I think the proportions will be off because of stilts. You have to go a little bit bigger on top to balance out the stilts on the bottom. So if I go for a hat, it has to be a full-size hat. And I kind of want to look up like feather bits, like, because I also thought about maybe a wig piece with a big like a feather headdress kind of thing off it, but I worry that that's going to get away too much from the steampunk look. But I also don't want to automatically just default to hat because steampunk costumes tend to default automatically to hat, and I don't want to just assume that and then end up missing out on an idea that would have been better. So I'm not quite sure what to do yet. I can't picture it in my head. And sometimes, like, there are times when I can picture these things in my head and I know exactly what I want and exactly how it's going to look. And then there are other times when I just can't picture it, and I find that I just have to look at pictures and look online and see what's out there, and then eventually something will inspire me. And I haven't gotten to that point of inspiration with what I'm going to do with my headpiece yet. Like, I knew the second I saw that skirt, I wish I had that skirt to show you guys. The second I saw that skirt, I knew it was going to be perfect. And it looks so good with the corset. It's so pretty. So So that part's there. I just don't know about the next part. So I'm not quite sure because this lace is a little bit longer. So there's like, see each of the triangle pieces? If I cut off one of the triangle pieces, it's going to be a little short, but with all of them it's a little long. But I don't want to cut partway down it because I don't want it to unravel. So I think I'm just going to go for a little short because it will be at the back anyway and you won't see it. So I got to figure out how to seal these on the side. No! It's boring to watch. I could switch over to the other cam, but I feel like it's not going to make it any more exciting. This is just not exciting. Here, but I'll switch anyway, just in case, who knows. Okay. Yay, look, see? It's sewing something on something. Once I get all my little jars, I think I might make my little trinkets online too, so you guys can see what they are ahead of time. I think they're going to be really cool looking. I actually ordered some jars, and they were too big, and they didn't work, so they had to be returned. And the ones that I think are going to work are supposed to be here tomorrow. So I will know tomorrow if that's going to work. I really don't want to have to go through this a third time. So I'm really crossing my fingers that this set of jars will work, because if it does, it's going to be really, really, really cool and something really unique that I think people will like. And I have a knot in my thread, and I don't want to have to redo this. Hi.
Liam probably needs somebody when I leave to go get faster.
Okay.
So.
What time is it? 6:21. So are you leaving?
20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be done in 20 minutes. If this thing isn't finished in 20 minutes, I'm going to yeah, this thing's going to be done in 20 minutes.
Oh.
There's no way it can be done in 20 minutes. Okay. But I still feel like I got a lot accomplished. Actually, this thing will take about 20 minutes. Now I'm on a roll. Now I know what I'm doing. I just had to anchor it. You know a guy that has goggles. I also have, I just realized I should get this out. Maybe Audie will be inspired. I have this like box of various trinkets and things that might work, and there is a pair of goggles in there. But I don't know. I think goggles on their own for a very like girly frilly Victorian isn't gonna work. I have to, like, goggles on a hat might work, but I can't do goggles alone. It's gonna end up looking like oh gosh, what's her name from Ghostbusters? I can't believe her name went out of my head. But yeah, I think goggles by itself just isn't gonna work for a like skirt and lace sort of steampunk costume. I was originally going to go with like metal drapings here for this, and it was just getting a little overwhelming. I couldn't find pieces that I liked and pieces that worked, and I saw something online that I could have ordered, but I still didn't love it. And I kind of wanted something that was unique, not something I could just order, even though the corset I ordered. But I can still add to the corset. I mean, technically that corset I ordered, I just added to it. It's cheaper to just order the corset than to make it from scratch, and I do not have the skills to make a corset from scratch. At least not at the moment. Especially when you can order a corset for $20, $25. It's just not worth it. Okay. Yeah, when I said this would be done in 20 minutes, it's going to be done in less than that. I'm like almost halfway done. Just give me the things and watch me make a headpiece. We should do this together. It can be a project. Ooh, we could stream it together. You should come over here and we'll make a headpiece and we'll stream it. Oh my gosh, why didn't we think of this before? Yes. Now we just have to make our schedules line up. I don't know how we'll do that. Now I just have to wait for the 30-second delay for you to hear that idea and then go, yes, yes, let's do that. Done, pick a day, yes, good. Okay, we gotta figure it out. We'll have to talk about our work schedules and see how they line up and how and when we can do this. It's going to be amazing. We have to figure out what we're going to do so that if there's anything I need to order, I have time to order it. So maybe we'll email each other back and forth and figure out what's inspiring and cool. And my colors are browns and reds, almost like a burgundy red. I'm going to have to get a little clipping of the stilt covers. The fabric, when I went to look for stilt cover fabric, I was talking about how expensive stilt covers are to make. This particular fabric, I actually was really, really lucky. But at first I wasn't. I found a fabric that wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. It worked. And it was, you know, it was kind of on sale, sort of. It wasn't too bad. It was still going to be about $60. But, you know, it wasn't terrible. And they went to cut it, and what they do is sometimes when there's remnants from like two different pieces, they just put them together. So she went to unfold it to cut it, and it was already pre-cut. There were two different pieces there, so it didn't work. And I was so disappointed because it was the only thing that even came close to working that I could find anywhere. And I was really irritated. And so I went looking, and then I started looking through like the tapestry fabric and everything because I knew I wasn't going to be able to afford it because this stuff is like $30 to $40 a yard. There was no way. But I looked through anyway because some of it was on sale. And there was this fabric that I'm pretty sure is used for like curtains and things that was this red satin, and it was buckled in little different places, and it had a very Victorian look. And it was 60% off. And because it was a thinner fabric and it was kind of a satin fabric, it was normally like $17 or $18 a yard, but it was 60% off. So it was even cheaper. Like, and I only needed 4 yards of it because it was a longer cut. So one piece lengthwise would work for the length of my stilts. So it ended up costing less to do that than it would have if the original fabric had worked, which I was so excited about. And it was this really gorgeous kind of reddish color, which was what I was originally picturing for the silk covers anyway. And I'd kind of gone with more of a brown because that was the only thing I could find. So it worked out. I was very happy. But yeah, but I'll show them to you guys as soon as I get them back. My lovely mother is sewing my silk covers for me because she is way better at sewing than I am, and she has a very good sewing machine, and she has made many sets of silk covers for me. And so she said that she would take care of that for me, and I was super grateful. So she's going to get them back to me at some point, and I'm going to look at them, and they're going to be amazing, and I'm so excited. All right, I think I'm done with this. So I will at least get everything together. I want to, the skirt is done, but I want to attach some lace or some sort of a slip or something to the inside because it's pulled up at the front. The skirt is, hang on a minute. Okay, so the skirt is kind of pulled up at the front here. So it goes to like there, and then it's lower in the back. It's kind of gathered in the front. And so you can see the seams because the skirt is multi-layered, and you can see the seams in the back. And so what I want to do is sew some lacing or kind of a fluffy slip or something underneath it, so what you see as you look through is not the back side of the skirt with all the raw seams, but you see like lace and stuff. It'll look prettier. So that's my next project, is to look for some sort of fabric that will work for that. So, all right, let's see. Hang on, that goes over the top. Maybe? Yeah, good. Yay, I think that'll work. That's pretty. Oh, you know, I want to see it bigger. Barb. Yay. All right, choker done, unless I want to add a little to it here. I'm getting there, little by little. Thank you guys for joining. I should probably go because I have other responsibilities and obligations that must be met today. But I'm going to work on the camera thing, and when I come back, actually, I'll show you the finished product, though. Once I get the whole thing done and measured out and everything, I'll show you how it works. But I will actually get to use it on Sunday. I'm really excited. And if you are just hanging out here and this is your first time by, then please feel free to give us a follow because we're going to do other stuff here. And yeah. Oh, and if you're finding us on YouTube, because I've started putting these up over on YouTube. If you're finding us on YouTube, we're on Twitch at indigo_chameleon. And so you can feel free to find us there. And you guys have a lovely day, and thank you for hanging out. And I will see you later. Bye.